I want you to imagine for a second that you possess a weapon so powerful, so incredibly persuasive, that it can bypass a man's logic, shut down his stress, and rewire his entire brain to focus on one thing and one thing only: you. I'm not talking about your looks. I'm not talking about your cooking. And I'm certainly not talking about playing hard to get. I am talking about the most versatile muscle in your body, your tongue. Now, before you giggle or roll your eyes, stay with me, because what we are going to talk about today is just about physical sensation. It is about psychological domination in the most loving way possible. We are talking about how to use your tongue to create an addiction, craving, a level of obsession that makes every other woman fade into the background. You see, most people get this wrong. They think using their tongue is just about the mechanics: up, down, swirl, repeat. That is boring. That is readable. That is predictable. And if there is one thing that kills obsession, it is predictability. To make him obsessed, you have to stop thinking of oral intimacy as a service you are providing and start thinking of it as a conversation you are controlling. It is a dialogue where you don't say a single word, but you scream confidence. Let's start with the psychology of the pre-game. The mistake most women make is rushing to the main event. They think, okay, if I get to the goods downstairs, he'll be happy. And sure, he'll be happy, but he won't be obsessed. Obsession lives in the anticipation. It lives in the space between the thought and the action. So how do you use your tongue to build that? You start with a kiss, but not just any kiss. I'm talking about the predatory pause. You are in the middle of a makeout session. Things are getting heated and his hands are wandering. This is where you pull back just an inch. You let your tongue trace the outline of his lips without actually entering his mouth. You are teasing the perimeter. You are sending a signal to his brain that says, I am right here, but you can't have the full experience yet. This triggers a dopamine spike in his brain. He wants what is just out of reach. When you finally do let your tongue slip past his lips, don't just wrestle. Use what I call the feather and the anvil technique. This is about contrast. You go for a barely there feather-like flick of the tongue against his to a firm, demanding pressure. You push his tongue back. You assert dominance. This subtle switch tells him that you aren't just a passenger in this interaction. You are the driver. You are showing him that you have range. Men are obsessed with range. We love a woman who can be soft and sweet one moment and then a total vixen the next. Your tongue is the paintbrush that paints that picture. Now, let's move the geography. You have conquered the mouth, but you are not going south yet. No, that is too easy. You are going to map the neglected zones. I want you to drag your tongue slowly, agonizingly slowly from his jawline, down to that sensitive spot right where the neck meets the shoulder. Most men carry all their tension there. When you use broad, flat strokes of your tongue against that tension, combined with a little bit of hot breath, you are confusing his nervous system in the best way. Is it ticklish? Is it arousing? He doesn't know. He just knows he can't stop shaking. Trace the ear. The ear is a high voltage area that gets ignored because everyone is in a rush to get to the finish line. Do not rush. Use the tip of your tongue to trace the intricate curves of his ear, then end. This is the killer move. Whisper something into it while it's still wet. The combination of the heat, the moisture, and the sound creates a sensory overload that makes his toes curl. You are essentially setting the anchor. You are teaching him that your tongue is a magic wand that turns on the lights in rooms of his house he didn't even know he had. Now, as you start to drift lower, you have to understand the power of the glitch. A glitch is when you break the pattern. If you are kissing your way down his chest using a rhythmic motion, his brain starts to predict the next move. Okay, she's going down. Stop. Go back up. Lick his nipple. Yes, guys have sensitivity there too, even if they pretend they don't. Give it a quick flick. Then go back to the collarbone. Then go down to the abs. You are glitching his prediction software. He has no idea where you are going next. And that uncertainty keeps his adrenaline high. It keeps him present. The biggest enemy of intimacy is the wandering mind. If he knows exactly what you're going to do, he starts thinking about sports or work or what he's going to eat later. By being unpredictable with your tongue changing direction, changing pressure, changing speed, you force him to stay in the moment with you. You become the only reality that exists. And that is where the obsession begins to take root. You are not just giving him pleasure, you are giving him a ride. You are the roller coaster, and he is just strapped in, hoping you don't let him off. Now let's talk about the gateway to the south. You are hovering right above the waistband. This is the danger zone. This is where most guys start to lose their minds. but you are going to torture him a little bit more. I want you to use your tongue to trace the waistband of his boxers or briefs. Do not touch skin yet, just lick the fabric. The sound of the wet fabric, the proximity of the heat, it drives guys absolutely crazy. It's like wafting the smell of a gourmet meal under the nose of a starving man. You are letting him know that the restaurant is open, but you haven't seated him yet. This is about control. When a man feels like you are completely in control of his pleasure, he surrenders. And in that surrender, he becomes vulnerable. He becomes open to connecting with you on a level that goes beyond the physical. He starts to associate your tongue not just with the physical sensation, but with a feeling of release, a feeling of being taken care of, a feeling of being owned. And that is a heady drug for a man. We spend all day trying to be in charge, trying to be the alpha, trying to solve problems. To have a woman come in and say, I got this, just lay back and let me work, is the ultimate gift. But you have to sell it. You have to believe in your own power. If you are hesitant, if you're awkward, if you are wondering, am I doing this right? He will feel it. Your tongue will feel tentative. You need to attack with confidence. Even if you don't know what you're doing, pretend you do. The tongue is a muscle, but it's powered by intent. If your intent is to devour him, to taste every inch of him, he will feel that energy. It will translate through the contact. So as you finally lower the waistband and reveal the main attraction, you have already won. You have already primed his engine to such a degree that you could probably just breathe on him and he'd be done. But we aren't stopping there. Oh no, we are just getting started. Because once you actually make contact with the goods, that is when the real artistry begins. That is when you move from the pre-game to the championship. But you have to carry this mindset with you. The mindset of the explorer. The mindset of the queen. You are not down there because you have to be. You are down there because you want to be. And that distinction changes everything. It changes the texture of your tongue, the saliva production, the enthusiasm. Men aren't stupid. We can tell the difference between a duty act and a passion play. An obsession only comes from passion. It comes from feeling like this woman craves me. She isn't just tolerating my body, she is celebrating it, she is worshipping it. And in turn, I will worship her. That is the trade. That is the deal. So are you ready to learn how to handle the machinery of? You ready to learn the rhythms and the techniques that will make him see stars? Because what we have done so far is just the warm-up. The main event requires a different set of skills, a different kind of focus. But if you nail the build-up, if you nail the tease, if you use your tongue to map his body and confuse his brain before you even touch the joystick, you are 90% of the way to making him yours forever. All right, we have set the stage, we have teased the perimeter, and now we are staring at the main event. We are entering the zone of the South, and this is where the difference between a good time and a life-altering experience happens. This is where you use your tongue to conduct a symphony on his most sensitive instrument. Now, ladies, I need to be a bit cheeky here, but let's be real, the joystick is not just one button. It is a complex system of nerves, and most people treat it like a lollipop. They just lick the top and hope for the best. That is amateur hour. To make him obsessed, you need to understand the geography of the goods. First, let's talk about the greeting. You don't just dive bomb onto it. You treat it with reverence. I want you to start with the base. The base is often neglected, but it is the foundation. Use the flat of your tongue broad, warm, and wet to lick up the shaft. From the base towards the top, but stop before you get to the head. Do this slowly. This is the slow climb. You are dragging the sensation upward. You are pulling the blood flow with you. It is hydraulic pressure, and you are the pump. When you do this, maintain a rhythm. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. And then when you reach the top, do not just cover it, hover. Breathe your hot air onto the most sensitive part, the helmet. That temperature difference between the room air and your breath is electric. It sends a shockwave down his spine. Now, let's talk about the swirl. The head of the joystick is where most of the nerve endings are clustered. It's the very important person section. But if you just attack it directly, it can be too much too fast. You want to edge him. You want to circle the rim. Use the very tip of your tongue. Make it pointy, make it firm, and trace the ridge where the head meets the shaft. This is the ridge of glory. Go around it like you are tracing the rim of a margarita glass. Round and round, change direction, clockwise, then counterclockwise. This specific motion triggers a sensation. that is almost unbearable, but in the best possible way. It feels like you are wrapping him in silk. Now, we have to talk about the underbelly. Most women focus on the top side because that's what they see. But the underside, the frenulum, that is the secret button. That is the detonator. If you focus your tongue action there, using quick fluttering licks, like a butterfly's wings, you are going to short circuit his brain. I call this the hummingbird. It's fast, it's light, and it's targeted. You alternate between the heavy, slow, broad strokes on the shaft and the fast, light, targeted flicks on the underside. This contrast, heavy, light, slow, fast, is what creates the obsession. His body cannot adapt to the sensation because it is constantly changing. He is in a state of constant sensory surprise. Now, let me introduce the vacuum. Your tongue is great, but your tongue combined with suction, that is a weapon of mass destruction. As you take him into your mouth, flatten your tongue against the underside of the joystick while you create a seal with your lips. As you bob your head, use your tongue to massage the shaft from the inside. It's like an internal massage. But here is the trick. Vibrate your tongue. Try to make a purring sound or hum while you are doing it. The vibration travels through your tongue, through his equipment, and straight into his nervous system. It adds a texture to the sensation that hands simply cannot replicate. It's mechanical and organic at the same time. And let's not forget the twin spheres down below, the jewels. They are incredibly sensitive, but they require a gentle touch. Do not ignore them. While you are working on the main attraction, use one hand to cup them, or better yet, if you can manage the gymnastics, use your tongue to gently lick them. It's the south of the border detour. It tells him that you want all of him, that no part of him is off limits. It creates a feeling of total acceptance. Now, I want to talk about the look. This isn't a tongue technique, but it amplifies what your tongue is doing. If you can, while you are engaging with him, look up at him. Let him see you enjoying it. Let him see the glint in your eyes. But if you are deep in the action and can't look up, use your tongue to signal your enthusiasm. How? By making noise. The wet, sloppy sounds of oral intimacy are primal. Don't try to be quiet. Don't try to be polite. The sound of your tongue working, the slurping, the suction, is music to a man's ears. It tells him she is really getting into this. It validates his masculinity. It makes him feel like a king. And when a man feels like a king, he treats you like a queen. Now let's discuss temperature play with the tongue. If you want to get really advanced, keep a glass of ice water or some hot tea nearby. Take a sip of the ice water, hold it in your mouth for a second until your tongue is freezing, and then go down on him. The cold sensation is shocking and thrilling. Then switch to the hot tea, warm, not scalding, please. The heat relaxes the muscles and increases blood flow. Switching between a hot tongue and a cold tongue is a level of mastery that most women never even attempt. If you do this, he will be telling his friends, or at least thinking to himself, that he has met a sorceress. You are manipulating the physics of his body. You are playing with thermodynamics to give him pleasure. That is high effort, high reward behavior. But let's bring it back to the deep connection. Don't just stay on the surface. Occasionally, you have to go deep. The deep throat technique isn't for everyone, and don't force it if it's uncomfortable, but the attempt, the enthusiasm to take as much of him as possible, is psychologically huge for a guy. It signals total vulnerability on your part, which makes him feel protective and dominant. When you are deep, flatten your tongue so it's out of the way, or use it to wave against the length of him. But the key here is the pull back. When you come back up for air, drag your teeth ever so slightly clad in your lips, not sharp along the length. It's a friction drag. It resets the nerves. And then you dive back in with the soft tongue. Soft, hard, rhythm. It's all about rhythm. Think of a song. It has a verse, a chorus, a bridge. Don't just stay on the chorus. Use your tongue to write the verses. Slow, teasing verses. Then hit him with the chorus, the fast, intense suction, and tongue swirling. Then give him a bridge break where you just lick the jewels or kiss his inner thighs. Then back to the chorus. You are the conductor. He is the audience and the show. The show is spectacular. You have to get out of your head about how you look. Do I have a double chin? Is my mascara running? Who cares? He certainly doesn't. He is looking at the top of your head and thinking it's the most beautiful view in the world. Get into your body. Feel the texture of him. Taste him. Enjoy the saltiness, the skin. If you embrace the nastiness of it, the raw, animalistic nature of it, that is where the obsession locks in. A woman who is too proper, too clean, too worried about the mess, she's fun for a night. But a woman who gets down in the trenches, who uses her tongue like she's devouring a last meal, that is a woman a man cannot walk away from. That is a woman who haunts his daydreams. That is the woman you are becoming right now. We are building a memory, a sensory memory, that will trigger every time he sees your mouth, every time you lick your lips across the dinner table. He is going to have a flashback to this moment. That is the power you hold. You are conditioning him. Pavlov's dog has nothing on a man who's been properly worked over by a skilled tongue. You are creating a trigger. Lick lips equal to pleasure. And that trigger is yours to pull whenever you want. We are in the home stretch now, the final quarter, the crescendo. You have teased, you have climbed, you have swirled, and you have conquered the geography. But now we have to land the plane. We have to bring him to a finish that leaves him not just physically satisfied, but emotionally wrecked in the best possible way. This is about the finish line focus. As you feel him getting close, and you will feel it, his breathing will change. His hips will start to buck. His muscles will tense. This is not the time to slow down. This is the time to double down. But here is the secret sauce: consistency. When a man is about to go over the edge, his brain locks onto a specific rhythm. If you suddenly change what you're doing, if you stop the hummingbird move and switch to the vacuum, you might derail the train. You might make him lose the build-up. So when you sense the end is near, use your tongue to lock into the motion that got him there. If he's moaning while you're swirling the head, keep swirling the head. Just do it faster, do it harder, tighten your lips. Use your tongue to apply more pressure. Be the metronome. You want to be the steady force that guides him over the cliff. And in those final moments, engage the suction vortex. Suck like you are trying to get the last bit of a thick milkshake up a straw, hollow your cheeks. This intense suction, combined with a rigid, vibrating tongue against the sensitive underside, is the finisher. It is the knockout punch. But let's talk about what happens during the release. This is the moment of truth. You have a choice. You can pull away, or you can stay in the pocket. To make him obsessed, you stay. You take it. Whether you swallow or not is your personal preference. And there is no right or wrong answer. But the act of staying connected to him while he is most vulnerable is powerful. If you stay there, keeping him in your mouth as he pulses, using your tongue to gently milk the aftershocks, you are bonding with him. You are telling him, I accept all of you. I am not running away from your intensity. That acceptance is the glue of obsession. It's the aftercare of oral. Don't just pop up and say, okay, done, where's the remote? No. Slowly release him. Lick him clean. Yes, clean him up with your tongue. It's primal, it's caring, and it extends the intimacy. Kiss his inner thighs again. Work your way back up the body the same way you came down. This is the victory lap. You don't just leave the stadium, you wave to the crowd. Kiss his stomach. Kiss his chest. And when you finally get back up to his face, kiss him on the mouth. Deeply taste him on your own lips. Share the flavor. This is a massive psychological power move. It says, I am not disgusted by what we just did. I love it. I love you. It circles the energy back to him. It closes the loop. This snowball kiss is intense, and not every guy is into it, so read the room, but if he is, it's electric. It merges the sexual with the emotional. Now, let's talk about the post-game analysis, not with words, but with behavior. After it's over, cuddle him. Rest your head on his chest. Let the oxytocin, the bonding hormone, flood his system. He is in a refractory period. He is tired. He is happy. His brain is floating in chemicals. This is when you anchor the obsession. Whisper in his ear, I love the way you taste. Or you felt so good. Reinforce the behavior. Men are simple creatures in this regard. Reward the behavior you want to see repeated. If you tell him he was amazing, he feels like a stud, and he associates that feeling of being a stud with you. You become the source of his self-esteem. You become the mirror in which he sees the best version of himself. That is what obsession is. It's not just about the orgasm. It's about how you make him feel about himself. You make him feel desired, powerful, and accepted. Now, how do we use this tongue technique to haunt him when you aren't there? You use the visual anchor. The next time you are out at dinner or at a party and you catch his eye across the room, slowly run your tongue over your lips. Just once. Maintain eye contact. Do not smile. Just the tongue. You will see his pupils dilate. You will see him shift in his seat. You have just triggered the memory of everything we just talked about. You have activated the anchor. He is instantly transported back to the bedroom, back to the feeling of your tongue on his skin. You have hacked his brain. You can do this with a text message too. Send him a voice note. Don't say anything dirty. Just whisper, "I'm thinking about your body." And maybe make a subtle sound with your mouth. A tiny intake of breath, a soft lick of the lips near the microphone. That sound is a trigger. It cuts through the noise of his day and hits him right in the gut. So let's recap. This isn't about being a porn star. It isn't about knowing 1,000 different tricks from a magazine. It is about presence. It is about enthusiasm. It is about control. It is about using your tongue to tell a story where he is the hero and you are the adoring, insatiable heroine. It is about the tease, the build-up, the rhythm, the surprise, and the connection. When you combine the physical sensation of a skilled tongue with the emotional impact of eye contact, praise, and vulnerability, you create a cocktail that is 100% addictive. He won't just want sex, he will want you, he will want the way you do it, because anyone can learn the mechanics. But nobody else has your passion, your specific rhythm, your unique connection with him. That is your superpower. So go out there and use it. Stop being passive. Stop waiting for him to run the show. Take charge. Use that muscle. Speak his love language without saying a word. Make him wonder what you're going to do next. Make him crave the touch of your tongue like he craves air. Because when you do that, you don't just have a boyfriend or a husband. You have a devotee. You have a man who is obsessed. And quite frankly, that is exactly what you deserve. High value, high effort, high reward. Now go get him.